Hey, you have Comcast, right?
I do.
What channel is
I
AMC on? Do you ever? Take a guess. Let's say it's probably like 365. Okay, I'll figure it out. Okay. I'm grabbing the OP-ness. I'm grabbing up, I'm bringing up the shotty.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's going on, guys? It's that one guy, and we have officially hit the waiting period before Battlefield's release on the 29th. So I thought it would be fitting to give my final impressions of Battlefield 4 beta and Battlefield release wish list that I'm going to have. Quick disclaimer, these are just my opinions, so yeah, don't get too butthurt. Anyway, starting off with the beta, you're watching 23-11 gameplay right now. It's not the best score, but I really had a lot of fun playing it. This brings me to my first quote-unquote good characteristic in Battlefield 4, the graphical enhancements. At least for me, I definitely see a huge difference between graphics moving from Battlefield 3 to 4. I mean, for instance, the water looks super nice in Battlefield 4, especially when you got the settings cranked the highest as it can go. The etchings on the side of the gun are really cool in the Chinese, and the soldiers themselves, to me at least, seem a lot better looking and a lot better animated. I also like to add the fact that I feel really bad for the console players of this beta. I mean, the graphics were Battlefield 3 level, or even a little bit below, from what I've seen and what my friends tell me. So, moving on to my next good characteristic, I would say is the sound design. I think after the almost 200 hours that I put into Battlefield 3, all the guns started sounding the same. Just at different frequencies with the changing fire rates of the different guns. But honestly, I really didn't notice that until I started playing the beta. Most of the sounds in the guns sound different to me, except for the pistols, because I swear they have the exact same sound. But especially, I want to mention the snipers. That M40, though, it just sounds like some manly gun that Chuck Norris would shoot, and I don't know, maybe that's just me. But now I want to segue into some of the bad things that I really noticed in the beta. I would say the player health just seems weird. I don't know if I'm just used to being able to absorb more shots in Battlefield 3, but it's almost like you would randomly hear a gunshot off in the distance and you would just die. I'm not sure if it's a netcode issue or what, but it was definitely getting irritating especially like when you would get in a gunfight with someone and then you would just trade deaths, like you would both shoot and both kill each other at the exact same time. It seemed to happen almost, I would say, 60% of the time I was playing, and it got super annoying for me. The next bad thing I would say is the grenade launcher. And before you guys start to flame me, hear me out. Against infantry, that grenade launcher just wrecks people. Absolutely destroys. But against vehicle, it does something like 10 damage. And I mean, you might as well be tossing marshmallows at the tank, because you're really not going to do anything for it. One last category that I thought I would just add in was the category for the truly abysmal aspects of it. You guys knew that at some point in this review I was going to talk about that roof. In the beta, for me at least, it was a definite game breaker. I could not stand it, and some of my biggest rages was when across the map I would just get sniped by some cloth monster. And however, I think this is going to turn out okay come release, because when the release is out, they're going to be mortars, and then when people set up their mortars, they're just going to bomb the living shit out of the roof. And let's face it, there's honestly nowhere to go up there to hide, besides back in that elevator. The very last abysmal point I have is voice over IP, or VoIP. I'm not sure if my console players have this, but it seems to be the most annoying thing ever implemented into the game. Like, you would just be running around chatting with your squad, and some disembodied voice would fly out of nowhere, and usually obnoxiously loud, I might add, and just talk so loud you can't even hear yourself think. Us PC players had to deal with that until the first patch came when they finally gave us the option to shut it off. That's just my general consensus of what's going on with that. Then let's move over to my Battlefield 4 wish list. So a lot of these ideas I have for my wish list are kind of impractical, but I just think they would just add another level to the game entirely. First thing on my list was an offline tutorial map for practicing flying and getting used to different guns. I don't know about you guys, but I am a god-awful pilot. Like, I can't pilot to save my life. If I get in a jet, it will crash 100 feet later, or not even take off at all. Don't even get me started about helicopters, because if you get in my helicopter, you're gonna die. And going kind of along with that is, in your jet, maybe instead of pressing E and, you just, or I don't know the eject button on console, but when you eject out of it, you know how you fall to the ground with your parachute? If there was like an actual ejection seat that actually flew out, and you could almost, I don't want to say steer it, but kind of guide it in the right direction, I think that would just be an added bonus. And I've always said there needs to be an attachment on the sniper rifles to hide that lens glare. Whether that is a sniper for proficiency, like after you master every sniper, you get this magical unlock that you can equip to any of them to just completely hide that glare. Either way, I think it just needs to be in there. It is something that's in real life, and since Battlefield is striving for realism, sort of, I think it needs to be in there. An option to make your character talk quieter, so when he tosses out the ammo, he doesn't scream like, "Take the fucking ammo!" and just tell everybody within a 10-block radius of where you are. I don't know if it needs to be removed completely, but maybe just tone down his voice a little bit. And I kind of created a small list of aesthetic things that I have absolutely no expectation of DICE ever implementing ever, but some of them would be like bullet shells or casings landing on the ground, like when you shoot your gun, and then they actually stay there, because I think that would just add more to the realism of it. And then when a tank drives over asphalt or concrete, it just crumbles and cracks underneath the weight, because I'm pretty sure just your average neighborhood street would just die if a tank just started rolling over it. An ability to equip your suppressor while in battle. This one is, I think it would be cool if you could, but I can understand why DICE wouldn't allow that. For people would just spam it all the time, and it would be like a free upgrade slot for your weapon. So I don't really know if that would ever even happen. But then, if you watch the Fault Line trailers, you notice that Sergeant Blackburn got knocked down by an explosion, and I think this needs to make it into the multiplayer, because I think it just adds a whole entire new level of realism. And because if a mortar just drops 20 feet away from you, you're gonna fall down. Like, you're not just gonna stand there and be like, "Oh, I'm hit." So I don't know, these are just some things that I thought would be interesting to have implemented. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps, and we'll catch you later.